So today I'm going to be showing you how to do a cut crease basically, but this one's going to be just Christmas edition as it is Christmas Eve and I'm about to go to a Christmas light show. This is going to be the first in a series of makeup tutorials because I've been practicing and wearing makeup for 10 years, maybe almost 11 years now, and I want to share my tips and tricks and knowledge I have accumulated throughout the years in some very in-depth tutorials, which is why this is just going to be an eye tutorial. So yeah, please bear with me throughout this light. The sun is beginning to set and I have a light that's making me see spots right now to my side. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get Miss Tako by Sugarpill and put her on my brow bone with just a flat brush. So what I do is I put the white all on my brow bone and then I leave it tacky, whether with concealer or primer, everywhere below, so that if I put something in my crease, it's going to be most pigmented where it's tacky, and then it's going to start gradiating out and blending out without me doing as much work because the white will be there to dilute it a little bit. So we're gonna start off with, so this is what I do for a lazy cut crease in which I don't feel like meticulously rounding out the eye. Arsenic by Sugarpill on this Morphe blending brush. And I don't wear this often because it doesn't look good on me. It's like a lime green with some sparkles in it, but I'm just using this as a base. So basically you just get your base color and you put it literally everywhere. So what I do as I go throughout the eye makeup on the top of my eye, I mirror it on the bottom. So just getting this smaller brush. So we're gonna be using Grass, which is the purest Kelly green I've ever found. And just popping that on top. And then this horrifies my mom here. I use my big brush to blend it out under my eyes. Final crease color. Again, I'm using the same brush because I am what? Lazy. Just gonna do a little, maybe just a teensy bit under the eyes, because even if you use the same shade of eyeshadow above your eye and below your eye, it's still going to always appear darker underneath your eyes, especially if you put mascara under your eyes. It's just going to appear darker. So what I usually do is I don't apply the darkest shade I put on top of my eyes, under my eyes. Or if I do it, like today, I just do the tiniest bit the closest to the lash line. So this is the Smashbox Concealer Fair Light Neutral. This is my face shade. It's very light. And so what we're just gonna do is paint it on the inner part of my eyelid. I tend to not do full cut creases anymore that go all the way out because I just don't really dig the way it looks on me. I like playing up the roundness of my eyes, so I tend to do a more circular type thing. And so now we make a bunch of weird faces, getting it to transfer. If you paint your cut crease on lower than where it will transfer, it will transfer. Whatever metallic shade or whatever you put on top is going to transfer above, and then you're not going to have that clean line anymore. So you have to work with your eye. I like to drag the cut crease out. You can't really see today because of the trees, but I drag it out just a little bit further on the top than on the bottom because I feel like that little bit makes your eyes look bigger. It makes the cut crease in the lid look bigger and rounder and more protruding somehow. Make sure that you use an equal amount of concealer or base or whatever you're using on each side, because if you don't, then the shade that you put on top of it is going to be unevenly pigmented on each side. whatever primer or concealer you put underneath your entire eye look, and whatever you use to cut your crease, I would recommend that they are both thin. Especially the thing you cut your crease with. You want it to be as thin as possible, because the thicker the layers are and the products are on top of your eyes, especially the creams, the heavier it's going to physically feel on your eyes and the more textured it's going to look on your eyes. You want to use most of your concealer on the inner part of your lid, so by the time you get to the outer part where you're going to be blending it back into your eyeshadow, there's just already less product. So now it's time to set our eyelids. This is the Violet Voss Flamingo palette. We're just gonna get the most boring shade in the entire palette, Sand, because it matches my skin tone, and I'm gonna pop that on my eyes. You don't want shades that are too similar, or else all your work will be for literally nothing. So I'm using this big Eco Tools brush to kind of just get everywhere, and then I'm gonna be using the brush that I used to cut my crease to just get a little bit more precision around the edges. So you want to get your brightest but not lightest crease color. So for me, I'm actually going to be using the mid-tone, which is the grass, because I feel like it's the brightest. And we're just going to outline this, and through like stamping and little slight like dragging, and that's going to make our cut crease like super cartoony looking, which is what I like. Here's another trick for adding an extra layer of depth. Use a light colored glitter. I usually use like a white clear one because it looks good with every color. And you want to trace the, outer part of your light color on your cut crease. With that, you don't want to get this in your actual eye socket, because then it's just going to expose your actual eye socket more. This is usually like, by the time I get to eyeliner, that's when I am fully shaking from whatever coffee or energy beverage I have consumed. We're going to be using two types of white now. I'm using NYX's Jumbo Pencil in Milk. This is like an eye crayon. I'm going to be putting this on my waterline. Now we're going to get an eye pencil. This is another NYX one. And I'm going to be extending my inner eye corner. But the thing is that my eyes are round and that doesn't look good on me. So I can't extend it a ton. I can't have the line be super white, or else I look wrong. So what I do is I just draw it on this little ridge, like just the tiniest bit of skin that kind of protrudes in my inner eye corner is where I draw this on. And then after this, I'm going to be setting it with the little brush I used to do my cut crease and highlighter. Since I blend my eyeshadow up to my eyebrows, I do a thin line of highlight on the outer corner of my eyebrows, so it's not just a block of color that extends all the way up. So I just highlighted my whole face and came back. Now I'm just gonna use some NYX black liquid liner. We're just gonna do a thick line. When we put on our eyelashes, it's gonna be a lot more comfortable and it's gonna be a lot easier, because with this black line, we don't have to apply them directly on top of our natural lashes, which is more uncomfortable. And if you have contacts on, it can force your contacts out of your eyes. That's happened to me so many times. So we're actually going to be able to place them a little bit higher than you would if you didn't do a thick black line. But my friends, this is the moment of truth where we'll have to remove the trees. Just popping mascara on. Something I do on the lower lashes is I touch the brush to my skin just a little bit, so it creates extra darkness, which, especially if you have a really stark white waterline, it makes your eyes protrude even more and it makes it look even whiter. When you're putting on a lash, all that really matters is that your top lashes are black, but you do want the inner corner eyelashes to be a bit more prominent, because that's what's actually going to blend your fake lashes with your real ones. Any black from mascara wand that you actually touch on your skin, just get whatever is left on your under eye brush and just like gently coat it and kind of blend it with the shadow. You don't have to completely cover it or blend it in at all. Just make sure that it's not completely wet, because then it's gonna transfer more likely. As I'm waiting for this mascara to dry, I'm just gonna place my sequins onto my face the same way that I put them on my eye. So I'll be right back. Honestly, can't tell if I'm appearing to be in a bad mood right now. I am not at all. I'm just really tired. If you're wondering, the reason that I did my cheek stuff before lashes is because I need full vision in order to do the cheek stuff. So, okay, so we got the lash. It's kind of crusty, but I'm just bending the inner corner in. Trim it if you need to. Do whatever you gotta do to make it fit your eye. So I'm just gonna like measure it out to where it's supposed to go, just so I can get like a mental picture of where it's gonna be. It's gonna be there. And then I use my fingers. So I'm just gonna, how do I do this on camera? Let's place the inside down, then get the outer corner, make sure that doesn't look too drooping down, and then just gonna stick it on the inside. And so it looks good. So now that it's placed correctly, I'm just using my fingers and pushing it into my eye, just to make sure that it's like very like sturdy in its position. And then I'm gonna get the back of a thin brush handle, go right under, and I'm just gonna push it up. Do a little wiggle. And there we go. If one is like lower or higher than the other, then just get the one that's lower and wiggle and just push it up a little bit more. This is really your only time to do so, because after that, then they're just like locked in place. And then I'm just gonna push it in again, just like reaffirm where it's sitting, but just making sure that it like stays out of my eye, out of my contact. So that's how I put a lash on. And I'll be right back. I'm just gonna do a nice lip. I've been trying to not overdraw my lips so absurdly lately. Let's see how I do today. Okay, that's not so bad. And now just a spray of setting spray. Just going over everything with my powder brush to kind of like whatever is left on it and just set everything down. Not, you know, just avoiding my cheeks. Okay. Cool, we're done. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Merry Christmas, or happy whatever holiday you celebrate. I hope you have a great one. Happy New Year, and I will see you in 2020.